What up, alchemists? Today I want to go over building a basic web app just using Plug. It's nice to use if you just need something real basic. It's also what Phoenix uses in the background, and it's a great tool to learn if you just want to get in there and you don't want to see all the magic and all the different features that Phoenix has. Plug's a good entry point just to see kind of the basics and get a web app going in Elixir. So I'm going to start up a basic app here, our mix project. I'm going to have it supervised, and we'll just call this basic site. Got that. CD into the directory here. And I like to run mix tests to get it compiled. Let's fire up Emacs. Okay, let's open up our mix directory and get our dependencies. I'm gonna just throw the apps here first, Plug, and we'll also use Erlang's Cowboy web server to host all this stuff. And let's put in our dependencies. We need Plug. I believe it's around version 1. And then we also need Cowboy. And I think it's also around version 1. Okay, let's install those dependencies. Dependencies git. Okay, those all installed great. Okay, let's go ahead and configure our supervisor to start up our web server. So let's define a worker here. And for a worker, we'll just spawn it inside of here. So the name is just going to be this module. And we're not going to give it any arguments. And we're just going to run a function out of here, start web site. Great. And let's define that function, start website. And we're going to use the plug adapter that plugs into Cowboy. And it returns OK and the PID if it's successful. We don't need the PID, so we just underscored it there. Plug adapters Cowboy HTTP, and we're going to define this next, basic site router, and we're going to give it no options. Perfect. Now let's go over and create that router. So make a directory inside lib called basic site, and let's make that file router. Got it. And let's hop over to that router and define the module basic site router. Okay, so we get a behavior here from Plug called plug router, and that gets us some really cool stuff. And one of those would be doing a match macros and then dispatching it. Okay, let's do one of those macros here just for the root. And we're just going to send a response, real basic here. Send the connection. It's going to be a 200 response and hi from Plug. Cool. Let's go over and see if we can fire up this site. It's just getting compiled there. Ranch is the TCP app for what that Cowboy uses to get all the connections going. Alright, no errors. Let's head over here, and default it is on port 4000. And Plug works great. Excellent. So let's go in and check this out some more. So already very simple. Got a web app going. You can do, all your standard Elixir stuff. Real great. Let's add some cool features that we get from Plug. One of them that I really love is the debugger. Plug debugger. And the other one I like is the plug logger. Both very awesome. So let me demonstrate some of this stuff. Here we'll do a new get, and we'll call this bug. And we'll just raise an error. What? All right, let's recompile our site here and see how that works out. So we got -plug. Let's go that new route we added with bug and see what happens. Wow, very cool. So this comes from that plug debugger. Gets you, this beautiful errors, the stack trace and where it came from in your app. Super cool. Very easy out the box. And then let's come over here and check this out. So this was from that plug logger that we added. So every request will get logged out to your console, and that's also super awesome to have. Let's go back and take a look at doing some wildcard matching. So if you're familiar with Sinatra, same type of syntax. So you can do a colon name, and let's do a send response. Same thing, connection. And 200 high and string interpolation name. Recompile our server here and take a look. So we can see that our bug still works, and that's because we defined this route first. If we would have put the bug one below this, name would always match, and that would never run. You can do guard clauses in there. So if you wanted to do, for whatever reason you wanted bug below name, you could do, win bug, and it'd work fine. So let's put a name in here and see how that wildcard works. Hey, awesome. So that is a basic web app using Plug. Let's look at a couple more features here of things you might want to do. So sending just strings back is probably something you wouldn't do very often. So let's go ahead and use EEX that's built into Elixir, part of the standard library. Let's come over here and close that down. Let's make a directory. Let's call it templates. And let's make a quick template. Template name EX. Okay. Back to Emacs. And then let's change this up to use a template instead. So EEX has a eval file. And then we just pass in the path here, which is under the templates folder we made. Templates. And name EX. And then let's assign the name so it has access to it. And we'll just call it name. Awesome. And then let's head over to that name EX file. And so we got H1 in there. Hello. And we can use the EEX stuff. Got it. Hi name. And let's close H1. Let's restart our server and see how that worked out. And refresh this guy. And bam! Now we're using a template and rendering that all through. Now, what if you wanted to use some static assets like JavaScript, images, or just plain HTML pages? Well, then you'll need a way to serve those static assets. So let's get that set up for us here. Let's go over to our Emacs. All right, so plug, and we're going to use the static plug. So that needs a directory. So we're just going to put it in the root. And then from. So you can put strings in here, but if you do the basic site, then, which is the name of our OTP app, then this expects this at to be in the root of your project at priv/static. So you could, add other directories and change that around, but we'll just use that defaults for now. Let's hop over here to our terminal, close that down. Make our directory, priv, static, and let's add a file in there, priv, static, 404.html. Awesome. Then let's edit that file, 404, and what is the basic h1 tag, 404 not found. All right, let's see how that worked out here. So we got to start a server first. Okay, and back over here to our browser, and let's try out that static asset. Bam! 404 not found. So we're serving static assets. We still have all of our wildcard route, with name that's rendering a template. And then our basic route right there, that's loading up. So that's it for Plug. There's a lot more to it. Definitely encourage you to check out the documentation on it and look through some of the available plugs they have in there for you. Really cool stuff. And just have a great day. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.